Hello and welcome back to Kringetopia. Today we're going to be talking about Fallout. Anyway, I'm...
Melody, you screwed it up!
You fucked it up, I wasn't done! Anyway, it's your turn, Melody. Go ahead, pronounce...
Sure. We're gonna be talking about Fallout again, but it's okay because it's probably one of the few things on this planet that you could talk about for years on end and not get bored.
Very true. Mammoth, it's your turn.
Hi there. And I'm here to tell you about my new multi-level marketing and idea, and that's Fallout.
Go ahead.
Which is physically the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty commercial.
Dude, imagine Fallout had microtransactions. Imagine how much money they would have made by now.
They do.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a very special episode. This is, for all those who don't know, because how could you know? This is being recorded on April 1st. That's right, this is our holiday special. I don't know.
I'll put it in laugh trap by accident.
It's just a cricket.
Yeah, we'll flip a coin whether it's a cricket or a laugh track.
Do they have
Yeah.
holidays in Fallout?
Yes.
Yeah, actually.
Fallout 4 if you're at
Oh, yeah, they have
Diamond
Christmas,
City
right.
near Christmas. There's also Halloween decorations.
All right, but does the
That's
NCR have official holidays?
I think Pandy's birthday might be a holiday.
That would make
Because
sense.
the Legion does have a holiday.
What the fuck is their holiday? They have a holiday?
Oh yeah. It's called the Burned Man Day. It's like Halloween, but instead of ghosts,
Oh, I think you mean Burning
you
Man.
try to run away from Legate Linnaeus, who's trying to cleave your head off.
No, you have to crucify one profligate or else you get burned by the burn man.
Anyway, because this is our April Fool's holiday special, I'm going to give us all a topic. Now, this is a very important topic because, of course, this topic is the biggest joke of them all.
Yep.
Fallout 4.
Okay.
Now, I'm going to
You just offended like 4 people.
Yeah, they're all in here.
I don't like this
There's
channel.
a ghost, don't worry. Anyway, so I'm gonna explain a little backstory to you, and this is important for what I'm discussing. All right. Now, imagine a vast tourism spot that has been abandoned since the Great War, and is now being mostly filled by free raider-like tribals. All right. One of them being very cunning business-like, the other being wild animals, and the third who just love murder. Now they get united by one fellow who just comes out of nowhere. They weren't expecting him, and he brings them together to take over the economic area to build a profitable empire.
Yeah.
Now I'm rather describing you how Mr. House conquered New Vegas, or I'm describing Nuka World.
That is 100 actually. That is 100% fucking true.
Just another way that Bethesda copied Obsidian and wanted to emulate their success.
Because I bring this up to point out that Nuka World is just a bad retelling of how New Vegas was formed. And I say bad because I don't even remember what the hell those guys were called.
The
I know one
Packers,
was the
Brooks,
Operators.
Browns.
I remember the Operators because they actually had like better armor than like anything in the base
Oh, yeah,
game.
they had the welded tie on their armor.
Wait, did they? I thought no. Look, it's the Pack. They're pretty forgettable. You got the Disciples. I think those are the ones who were crazy.
They love
We just,
murder to hide
yeah.
under them out.
And then the Operators. The Operators are the ones who were like, yeah,
They
we
got
just
like
want
a welded
money.
tie on their armor.
Did they
Yeah.
actually have a welted tie?
Welded tie, like they had an armor tie on their armor. I mean,
I
pull
didn't
it up
mean
on
to
the
say
screen.
I did not mean to say that.
The
They had a
wilted,
yeah. And someone hit them so hard they welted a fucking tie on them.
Yeah, they grow their ties in their vast fields. But yeah, I have a very big problem with Nuka World, and that is because it railroads you to take over these parks and ruin them by filling them with raider junk. Or you could just not do the DLC by murdering raiders if you want.
Yeah.
When I think a better,
Well, the correct answer is to just not talk to Preston Garvey until you finish Nuka World, so that you could still
You
keep him
blow
as a
his head
follower.
off. Oh, never mind. We're going.
I didn't play it till it came out, which means I did the glitch ending where no one died except the Institute. But speaking of, I'm disappointed because Nuka World, there's so obviously another path they could have gone that wouldn't railroad you to having to do Raider stuff. Do you know what that is?
No, go ahead.
If instead of 3 Raider groups inhabiting one part of the park that could take over the rest of the park, instead, each part of the park had a tribe living there that has adapted to live in that part of the park. So if you go to Dry Rock Gulch, you get to meet a Wild West town, and it's goofy as hell, and they got the hats and the colorful clothes.
Oh, it's so cool.
And if you go to what's the fancy part of the park with the future world, Tomorrowland, what is it called?
I can't
Tomorrowland.
remember. Yeah, Tomorrowland. We're just gonna call it
No,
Tomorrowland
I'm
for
laughing
this
because that's
episode.
Disneyland.
No, I'm just
I
saying
know,
it's
but it basically
Tomorrowland.
is.
Cyberpunk 2077.
No.
Wake the fuck up, samurai.
I'm
We're in a
honestly
terrible
gonna.
DLC.
I'm honestly not. I barely remember Nuka World.
It was
Exactly.
Go ahead, I'll let man. Go ahead, man.
No, but exactly. Hold it. Here it is. That part of the park was called Galactic Zone. Imagine the Galactic Zone, and it's filled with people wearing like space armor, and they're talking about galactic federations, and it's just a bunch of nerds.
Oh yes.
Safari Adventure. It's not just, Sito with his gorillas. Whole Tarzan pack up there.
I want Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin.
Can we
Sure,
get
why
that?
not? I mean, maybe, yeah, he's like the leader of the group because he learned to trade, like, the staff.
Big fucking gator crawler up there. Go on.
Yeah, maybe he found, like, the old staff videos from, like, dealing with the animals in that part of the park.
Oh, that would be... Okay, so I do want there to be one of the parks, even if it's just like a hot dog stand. I want there to be somebody who's just looking at all of them and be like, yeah, we're just settling here because it's convenient. I don't know what the fuck is
But
up
that
with
could
all
be
of
what's
them.
going on in the Nuka Town, USA. It's filled with, like, normal people that can't go in the rest of the park because of, tribal.
Oh, yeah.
And I want to bring up my favorite one, which is Kitty Kingdom, because you can have this sort of feudalistic society where they've had this harsh histories of wars and like plotting and court schemes, but they have these ridiculous names because it's a kitty-themed kingdom. So maybe there was the War of Gumdrop's Succession when His Majesty Charlie Gumdrop was executed by the Lollipop Guild
Dude.
in order to establish a mercantile government before they were executed by the Knights of Licorice.
Okay,
You know
so
what's funny?
Go ahead. What are you saying, Mo?
I was about to say, like, you guys know me by now. Like, I generally like the more serious stuff, but even what you just said, I think is actually better than the Nuka World we got.
It could be kind of like old world blues in a way. Like,
Yeah,
kind of like
Old
on a
World
level of
Blues-
zaniness. Do you know what I mean?
You know, it's like Old World Blues is such a weird level of zany because it has such an undertone of like actually like
absolute
dystopian
horror.
shit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if they took out the jokes, it would be horrendous. But because it's all done with a smile, you get it. So I'm imagining that, and you could still have John Caleb Bradburn, and maybe instead of it being Raiders taking over the park, it's rather you're trying to unite the park for John Caleb Bradburn, or you're trying to unite the tribe so they can fight off John Caleb Bradburn.
And that's the
Wait, are you talking
Walt
about
Disney
Gage?
guy, right? No, he's talking about wait, Gage?
Yeah, that's. I'm talking about the Walt Disney. John Caleb Bradburn, inventor of Nuka-Cola, basically becomes the Walt Disney conspiracy theory that he's still alive, but he's a frozen head.
Oh, okay. It's just that they didn't do anything with it because it's Fallout 4. Got it.
I have an idea. What if there was also a, let's say it's a legend through each and every community, if there's some great treasure somewhere in the park, and it's actually just him underneath it, and no one's, thought to look at where he's actually
Again,
at.
that would be a great twist ending to add more to the story.
Oh.
Although, again, that also just basically makes him Mr. House, so...
I mean,
Okay.
kinda. But he already
Well-
is, as far as spicy.
Because it's a Walt Disney thing, and Mr. House is already sort of Walt Disney because he's the Howard Hughes stand-in, and Howard Hughes and Walt Disney. If you just put next to each other, you could just say, "Oh, it's the rich industrialist." That it's a bit weird
Yeah.
with a mustache.
I mean, you could still do it, though.
You can still do it. Maybe instead of him trying to take over the park, you just have there is a lost treasure. The tribes are all. Oh, how about this? The tribes are fighting each other because they all want the treasure that's rumored to be beneath the park.
Yeah.
So you can rather help one tribe get all the pieces, or you portray them all to take it for yourself, or you have them work together, and they all find that it's John, Caleb, Bradburn.
We could also keep him like relatively the same. Obviously, change some of the dialogue to like talk about what's going on above, but don't give him like any like real power. Do you know what I mean? Just have him like, yeah, just a head in a jar. Like same thing. Like, hey, if you kill me, I'll give you this. And then you could even still have the Nuka World chick there. Like, you know what I mean? And she could be like, she could be a fucking companion. I hate her and she's annoying, but you could make her a companion.
Yeah, I'm mostly thinking about all the crazy quests that you can add if each park was filled with a different community living in there. Like,
Yeah,
maybe like some political, like some real like Game of Thrones scheming going on in Kitty Kingdom.
Yeah, they put way too many eggs in the whole. Hey, look, you could make raider camps. Basket.
I didn't even like doing any of that. I did it anyway just to get through.
But like all.
I mean, I did some crazy building stuff, and it was like fun, but it was only fun because I liked playing Fallout. Like, there are better like sim games that I'd rather be playing, and there are better FPS games I'd rather be playing. I only stuck with it because I have like such like an emotional connection at this point to the lore that is Fallout.
Well, I want to clarify. It was actually when it first came out. Well, we'll get right back on the Nuka World thing. This is like a brief thing, but
of course.
I love talking about that. That is such a good fucking idea. When Fallout 4 first came out, there were warning signs for me. Now I was hyped as fuck because I never thought there'd be another Fallout. So to finally hear one announced of like updates and like graphics and AI, especially AI, I was really happy about that. And a couple weeks, I think like a week before it happened, there were a bunch of leaks. Somehow a bunch of people got their hands on the game.
Like Sean, you have to look for Sean, who's an old man. That got spoiled to me weeks in advance.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but like they were telling that kind of stuff, and then an article came out and said Fallout 4. Sorry, fuck, retake. Fallout. 1 second.
Fallout 4 it's so bad it causes people to have dementia.
Fallout 4 takes place in Louisiana.
Did you know that? But no, when I heard an article that said no hardcore mode in Fallout 4, and then I told my brother about it. I'm like, hey man, I don't think Fallout 4 is gonna have a hardcore mode. He's like, you're overthinking it, dude. Of course it's gonna have a hardcore mode. Why would they not implement that? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm just overthinking it. Don't worry about it. And then,
but doesn't it have a hardcore mode?
It did not initially. It took a while for that update. I like the survival, but the whole point is I had a couple signs. And by the way, real quick side note, survival is fucking amazing and I love it. It was not there on release. So when release came out,
think it's that? I don't think it's that amazing.
I liked it because I'm a hardcore fanatic. I like the with mods as well because I don't like the damage. But if you modify the damage to be to where it's like one shot kind of deal, and like power armor and other things, then yes, I like it. But on its own, maybe not.
Actually, that's like the part of it that I do like. After playing a lot of it, I'll tell you, my least favorite aspect of it is the fact that saving is restricted to sleeping in bed.
Oh yeah, no, I also like that. I was just talking about damage.
Oh no, I'm saying I don't like that.
Oh, you don't?
I like the damage, the way that they handle damage. Yeah. I don't like that you have to save by going into beds because I've lost so much. Because for most of the game, honestly, you're gonna be dying to. Whenever you do die, you're gonna be dying to grenades and missiles, and it's just like, great. Now I gotta go back 45 minutes because I was walking near where the Minutemen were in the bottom right part of the map, Quincy. And there just happens to be like a raider with a fat man there, so I died.
It'll also give you like strategies for like, oh, before I go do this, I should probably make like a quick save because this might be like a dangerous journey. But
you can't make a quick save.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like you might want to go to a settlement, save, and then head that way.
All right, sure. Also, not a bad idea if there were settlements like spread throughout the whole map and not
there are
clustered
beds,
all in like honestly, all of the settlements are clustered in like a couple of areas. It's kind of annoying.
I think they're decently spread out, except for like a couple.
Look, Spectacle Island is too far away.
Well, not Spectacle Island.
I'm just saying, like, in the south part of the map, there's basically nothing except for the construction site.
No, there's that one harbor thing. Well, okay, wait. Are you talking near Quincy, or are we talking a different area?
Oh,
no, I'm talking about this.
Yeah, you're right.
There's gonna be a big map this entire time, and you're all just gonna be circling random areas on there, realizing that none of them are near each other.
All right, well, real quick, back to the point. I played the fuck out of it. I actually called off the day just so I could play it. And when I got done with my first session of Fallout 4, I looked in the mirror and my eyes were completely bloodshot. But like, here's the thing. I ended up beating the game, right? I think I went for a Brotherhood ending. I want to clarify. Well, I'll tell a funny story. I've told the Mammoth before, but I'll tell that in a second. Once we talk a bit more about Nuka World. But I beat the game, and pretty much I looked around, and I'm like, wait, who do I talk to? I mean, there's got to be more side quests than this. And I look around, I'm like, okay, like, you know, where the fuck are they all at? And I look it up at the time, and I realize I've almost done every one of them that's, like, not locked to, like, you know, a faction. As I didn't really do any of the railroads, I didn't really do too many of the well, you fucking have to. There's not really an option not to do them. But, like, I didn't do many side quests for, like, particular factions, and I had to wipe 2 of them out. Keep in mind this is first playthrough. And, like, I'm like, I don't really know what to do now. My buddy in a call is like, are you fucking bored? I'm like, I'm not fucking bored. This is Fallout 4. I've been waiting years for this. And I legitimately move around for 2 more seconds. I'm like, wait, am I fucking bored? Oh my god, I'm fucking bored. Wait, how am I bored? There has to be something else to do. I find the Travis quest. I help him get his confidence up. I'm like, is that fucking it?
And then you're like, wait a minute, this was a bad idea. Now the radio sucks.
Yeah, dude, like, well, I'm smooth now. I'm Travis, and I'm fucking annoying.
There you go.
I like it so much better when you like stub his toe.
I hate Travis so fucking much.
He's the most forgettable host.
He's terrible.
Oh yeah, for sure. I do think Three Dog is better than Mr. New Vegas. As much as Mr. New Vegas is good, like Three Dog has so much. He's oozing with personality.
He does. I like Three Dog. I like Mr. New Vegas the most, but Three Dog is also nice. But real quick, Travis. I hate Travis. Anyway, moving on.
There's a worst radio host in the same game, and it's back to Nuka World, and it's Red Eye.
But come on, it's Andrew WK. I have some love.
Yes, but he's just not.
It's his gimmick.
You listen to. I know, but when you listen to the radio.
No, do you know who's the worst radio host? The Minuteman operator, who... if you want to listen...
Fuck the Minuteman. Also, Mammoth, no,
Yo,
I was agreeing
all you do is listen to the nice music, and then it's like, by the way, I'm going to refresh with another fucking quest, where if you don't do it, then, you know, your settlement is going to be destroyed.
Well, I thought you were going to find it irritating that it would just go, it is now 10 p.m.
Oh, that's nice, dude.
I do
dude,
like
it's actually one of the most... the radio station itself is actually, I feel like, one of the most immersive parts of the game. Like it's like such a boring regular station. That's exactly what it would be in real life. Like if somehow we had real life Fallout.
I got some problems with the Minutemen too, but that could be saved for later because there's a bunch more stuff I want to talk about Nuka World about. You know, if it was done different.
Oh, and I agree with you on Andrew WK. By the way, when I said it's his gimmick, I wasn't saying as an excuse or it was a good one. I was like, yeah, it's his gimmick, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. What were you saying?
But with Nuka World, by having it just being a bunch of tribes you have to talk to, you can adjust the quest where it's more, more interactive. Maybe each part of the park has a companion that you can bring around, and if you bring them to other parts of the park, there's certain interactions. And by the end of it, you can all send them to one place, and you basically gather yourself this weird D&D-esque party just together because you got a savage from the animal part of the park. You got a knight. You got this like chivalrous knight like called Sir Lollipop von Wittgenstein or something. From Kitty Kingdom.
Give him a French accent.
You got like, yeah.
I don't know why. I am funny.
I am Terence Claire or something.
No lore explaining why he has that accent. I don't want any.
Yeah.
Let it be a mystery.
You get a quote unquote scientist from the galactic zone. I say scientist, but the barbarian, and I just keep calling him a wizard. Even though he just has a laser pistol, that's it.
Give him.
And then what's the?
Wait, no, yeah. Look, so we made a spaced one. You made the which one did we just get done discussing?
The World of Refreshment, I think, is the only part of the park. Oh, and Nuka Town.
Let's just make that with robots.
World of Refreshment.
Yeah, I actually watched a video on this guy doing like a review, Salty, or whatever his name is. I love that man. But he was doing a review on Nuka World, and he actually put up a pretty good idea that what if it's like two different like tribes of robots fighting for like the refreshment shit. Like the two new ones you can find there. Like just have them like battling out. You get to like pick a side.
Okay,
Dude,
that could be fun.
Every single one of our criticisms is like, hey, they should have put more content in this game.
I know, but I'm not thinking of it. World of Refreshments, its quest is you're trying to finalize the perfect Nuka-Cola formula, and both sides have different ideas about what the final recipe should be. And there should be a secret option. There should be a secret option where you can taint the supply and change the recipe from it making Nuka-Cola to Vim or Sunset Sarsaparilla.
I would like that. Would be a nice little tie-in for New Vegas. I think.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Let's go ahead, Simon.
I bring it up because in Nuka World, this is one of the few references to the other Fallout games. You can find a holotape about an employee who's thinking about leaving and selling the secrets to Sunset Sarsaparilla. That's it.
Really?
Yeah.
But is that already in there, or did you just make that up?
Wait, selling
That's
the
in Nuka World.
secrets?
You can find it in like a suitcase in a bathroom.
What? Oh, that's such
Wait,
a
what
cool
do you mean selling the secret? Oh, to the company Sunset Sarsaparilla.
Yeah, to the company of Sunset Sarsaparilla. Like sell some secrets. Like he's thinking about jumping ship. Also, or another idea is you just have the World of Refreshment be filled with the ghoulified versions of John Caleb Bradburn's Beverage Nears.
Can we do it as like the whole staff and make them kind of like Disneyland, but like okay, so we have two options right now. We have the robot one, and I'm gonna go off your idea, ma'am, after the one you just mentioned. Dress them up, like actually give the ghouls clothes and make them look like torn versions of it, obviously, but make them
like
look.
Or something.
Wait, say that again.
I was.
Can I come up with an idea too?
Well,
I have a good idea.
Wait.
What is your
idea? This is a really
what
good
is it?
one.
Cast members?
No, not cast members. Have them just look like normal ass employees, like with like torn clothes, but have a couple like give Nuka World the two mascots, Cappy and the giant bottle,
bottle.
And then make both of them like really like irradiated like super mutant ghoul feral looking things, like still in their torn up costumes, and have them be like bosses that you have to like fight.
I'm just imagining now the bottle costume is slightly torn, but you don't see anything, you don't see the body underneath, but you see these big mutant arms and legs coming out of it.
Yeah, I want it to look kind of like a like, how do I describe it? Kind of like a weird mix between the Hulk and a Licker from Resident Evil. If that makes sense. Like a tyrant.
Alright, but what was your idea, Melody?
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, since we're coming up with versions of Nuka World that are just better versions from other games, or just different versions of Nuka World from other games, like let's just do a Sierra Madre Nuka World.
No, because that's already been done. At least with taking over the park, you can have certain quests, like them interacting with each other would be fun for the main quest line and stuff, inherent to their part of the park.
Well, how would we start the DLC?
How would we start this? Well, I feel like,
there
is still
you wake up.
There is still the monorail that goes to the park. So what if you have it where the people of Nuka Town, USA, which are sort of like normal people that have moved in there, are trying to get people to come and help ship supplies, but they also need help because the fighting between the other tribes surrounding Nuka Town is getting out of hand. Maybe have this something which is stupid, like Safari Adventure have constructed a catapult and launched a Brahmin and have started launching Brahmin into the galactic zone.
Your mother smells like a cow. It's like,
honestly, that's probably the best idea I've ever heard for what Nuka World could have been. Like what you're saying, like really like laying into like the the thematic park concepts, not just making it like a type of raider band in a specific part of the park.
I also really just want there to be a quest because, you know, sometimes for some reason every Fallout game you have to help someone with their romantic problems.
Yeah.
I want you to help someone from the Galactic Zone try to charm and quote move someone from the Safari adventure.
Yeah, like a Romeo and Juliet story.
So you basically have this fellow dressed up like a Star Trek fan trying to talk in like poetry and whatnot to someone that just goes unga bunga.
Yeah, legitimately. Or what if all the other people just genuinely think that they sound or talk that stupid, but they're like, I don't know what they're talking about. Look, we just like live in, I don't know. Dumb idea. But real quick, your intro. Fuck you, man. Don't say yes to that. It's not a dumb idea. I take it back. It was the best idea. Anyway, the intro. I actually like the idea. What I think I would do personally is make it to where you're right. You know, they're like, let's say they're waiting on a supply shipment, right? You know, they're waiting on a caravan to come, and they always get like, you know, supplies from this caravan. But then you hear like, I have all the other DLC. You hear like a radio distress signal. It's saying, "Hey, please fucking help us. We're being fucking like mauled to death." And like the caravan that normally supply, well, don't, you know, obviously put all this.
We're being invaded by aliens.
No, not like, yeah, just fucking put this
from the Galactic Zone.
Oh, no, you know, the Galactic Zone.
Well, yeah, but why would they be in Fallout 4?
No, let me say, in Galactic Zone. In the Galactic Zone, they finally got up and working one of the quote-unquote rides. And before, it's supposed to be a UFO, but it doesn't really function. It's just for show. It's not an actual one. It's just basically a vertebrate with like pieces stuck on it.
They don't like. I don't know why this UFO
dude,
is
that's
so plastic.
Dude, that's so capitalist America. It's perfect.
Yeah. So yeah. I just imagine they get that to finally work, and they accidentally crash it into the caravan, and they think it's actual aliens. So that's where the distress signal comes from in the first place.
I would say do that, but like we want to be able to like, you know, help them, and then once we get over, they're like, "Are you guys okay?" Yeah, but our caravan who supplies us with this shit is dead, and we have no way of getting more, and we're also dealing with X, Y, and Z, and then it takes off where Mammoth started.
All right, I mostly just really want to. No, I just want to delve deep into all the goofy stuff of not only quests that are inside their version of the parks. Like imagine doing all of the cast member quests you had to do for Dry Rock Gulch, but it's actual people that need help with actual things. Like there is an actual like felon that needs your help corralling all of his cattle that got loose in the town.
Yeah.
There is a draw. You have to go to the bar to help someone, and you get challenged to a duel in the middle of the street.
I feel like we're making a full game rather than a DLC.
See, like that, dude. Oh, that's like
you don't need that many quests. You don't need that many quests in there. Maybe 2 or 3 radiant quests and a main quest in each kingdom with an overarching.
Well, I mean, like let's say like 3 side quests and 1 main quest.
All right, and you were saying Melody.
I was gonna say, like, dude, we've had Fallout DLCs that have been about as expansive, maybe a little bit more than what we've described so far. Like, Old World Blues, everything was kind of thematically kind of similar, but, like, there was a lot of questing to do. Honest Hearts, if you do all of the side quests, like, there's a lot of, like, you know, running around Zion.
Yeah.
Far Harbor and Point Lookout actually had a pretty decent amount of variety.
Well, I think that we fixed Nuka World, so I have a bit of another task for you, Mammoth, since you were able to fix Nuka World. Good luck with this one. Fix Mother-shaped Zeta.
Impossible.
All right. So you get abducted by aliens. Now that's pretty cool. Just aliens in general, those are always fun.
Yeah.
But, well, what if, alright,
Yeah.
you're trying to sneak out of this alien spaceship, but what if they're no longer in orbit of the Earth? You finally get to a window and you look out, and you're orbiting the moon.
Okay. That's a good start.
Right.
Good start.
Alright. So your goal now is you need to take over the ship before it lands in the aliens' like base on the moon, because this is going to be the biggest draw. Combat on the moon.
Combat.
Ooh, that's really good.
Okay.
All right.
With spacesuits, obviously.
Yeah. So you and the people, so you and fellow survivor Steve pick up along the way, take over the ship, and you just get it in time as you land inside the alien base. And as
Dude,
the
I don't
doors
even
open,
think. Oh, sorry for interrupting. I keep doing that, but I don't even think there should be other survivors if we're gonna do on the moon. I feel like that's like a huge, crazy, interesting solo adventure right there. Don't muck it up with like samurais and shit.
All right, but it doesn't have to be samurais. It could just be other people from different part of the way. So maybe you could get an NCR soldier. Don't have to be like they've been frozen the whole time. Make them like they were picked up recently. So maybe there is like an NCR soldier there. Maybe there's a Texan Brotherhood soldier there. You know, random people. You know, maybe as a joke, have someone from Quebec and they don't understand English. So you have to try to. So it's like Quebecois French.
Cycle or super mutant idea. Make a Napoleon super mutant.
Oh yeah, a Superman in general would be a funny thing. But yeah, and then Kaz Fallout 4 introduced the idea. They never followed through on this, but they introduced the idea that there was at least some fighting on the moon.
Yes.
That the goal is so you get off the spaceship and you have to clear out the alien base, and then you need to find an escape pod in the old American base that's on the moon.
Nice, I like it.
All right.
Because introducing car mechanics wouldn't work for a DLC like this at the time it came out, you can't say they get moon buggies and they drive around.
Yeah.
But you can say that you have to get enough oxygen so that you can have like space jump on the moon all the way to the American base.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you can have it so that things are going on, like alien spaceships trying to come after you, or maybe you won't see a lasers or something. Yeah, something's going on. Maybe there's like moonworms or something. Maybe there was another American experiment. Now there's moonworms.
That'll also close up the gap for the fact that, you know, he ends his game with a fucking spaceship. So, you know, we don't give him a spaceship. Now you don't have to worry about that, like, inconsistency anymore.
And maybe the moon base, maybe you're trying to get to the American moon base and you end up in the Chinese moon base, or maybe there's an American moon base.
And Fallout 3 was really big on playing into the pre-war, American mythos. So I think that's a good idea.
Well, you could also have it where you get to the moon and you find out that the Chinese and American soldiers are still there, but they've been up there for so long.
Well, is that what's going on?
Maybe they're ghouls, or maybe they're cyborgs. Maybe instead of radiation, because that's been everything. If you did radiation, you could say it's like cosmic rays, but I'd say like cyborgs or something stupid like that, because you're on the moon. You might as well play little on the whole thing. So they've been fighting for this entire time, unaware that the war's stopped.
So we want to make this one zany as well.
Well, we had the pit, we had Far Harbor, and we had Broken Steel. Yeah, and Operation Anchorage. Yeah, this should be zany.
You're getting abducted by aliens. I feel like you should double down on the 1940s, 50s, and 60s like idea of aliens.
Little green men, that kind of thing.
Yeah, you know. So maybe have the spaceships look nicer. Maybe have the American moon base look like what people thought the American moon base would look like.
Actually, it's not that the spaceship didn't even look that nice, but they were stuck with the filter that was on the game.
The alien? Yeah. Wait, what happened? I'm really confused.
The filter that was on Fallout 3, the green filter.
Oh, okay. Yep. When you said filter, for whatever reason, I assumed you were talking about, like, all I pictured was like a giant circuit, like a cylinder filter, like a PNG on the outside of the ship, and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
You know what? Screw taking over the ship before you land at the alien base. What about you wake up, you break out of your cell, you take down the alien spaceship, and as you're fighting the captain, you crash the spaceship on the moon.
Wait, how about this? How about like, no, it doesn't really work in Fallout. I was gonna say like a Fallout game where like the game ends, the DLC ends with you're trapped on the moon. That's how the Lone Wanderer finishes it off. He has a moon-based paradise where he can never go back.
But I really like it. I really like it. Instead of Mothership Zeta, it's basically Escape from the Moon.
Escape from the Moon kind of deal, yeah. We don't. I wouldn't want to add too many factions up there, though. You know what I mean? Of like.
Oh no, dude! It would be you versus nature. It's man versus nature. That's the narrative.
You versus the aliens, then you crash the ship on the moon, and then you need to get to the American base because after the war, maybe the Americans blew up the Chinese base, but you have to get there, and then you have to fight the American cyborgs or whatever, and you're just trying to get to the escape pod. Maybe the high command there has gotten so crazy they set the base to self-destruct, so that's why you have to rush, and that's why you can't go back.
I would like that. You have to blow it up somehow. Otherwise, he has a fucking spaceship. You can't really do that.
Or maybe one of the things is before you can leave, you have to turn off the force field around the base.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe when you do that, they get like a coded message, and it's from the Chinese base that still exists. And as you're leaving on the escape pod, you can see like two obvious bases blowing each other up with lasers.
This is like fucking like an automated fucking propaganda message sent to the aliens that they can't even fucking understand.
Oh yeah, just get rid of the factions in general. Just have it where it's there's a Zax AI on the moon base, and there's a Chinese version on the Chinese base. And when they start talking to each other, they realize the other is still alive. And then as you're leaving, they destroy each other. And you can have like a big explosion for like the little window on your escape pod as you leave.
Oh yeah, that'd be a nice little cinematic.
I like it. It might not. I don't know if it's difficult, but it would be maybe a little bit challenging, narratively speaking, to like set it up so that it ends with them talking with each other in like a believable way. That's not like just dialogue dump.
I mean, you could I feel like it could definitely be done.
Without it being a dialogue dump. Like I said, I'm looking at like Old World Blues. I'm looking at like, the amount of talking in that actually hurt it a lot.
Really?
Well, you could have it instead of them trying to talk to you, they just talk down to you for like a few seconds. The Chinese one is very quick to just get you out of there because it's an American and it's not programmed for English that much, so it just get you in and out. And as you're leaving, the American AI says, "Wait a minute, I'm getting a message." And then as you're leaving, you hear them start yelling at each other. And once you're out of the base and you're going through space, you just see them blowing each other up.
Mammoth.
All right, that's satisfying.
I don't know if this is what you just said, but if not, tell me. Do you think it'd be a good idea to just not have an American or a Chinese, Chinese NPC, and just replace them both with AIs of both the bunkers?
Yes, I said that.
That's what you were saying. Perfect. That's fucking beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. They don't know that the war is over. In fact,
they're not capable of understanding the war is over.
Not wanting, both AIs are preparing to nuke each other with the inhabitants still inside, so that's why there's barriers up to make sure they can't communicate. So you have to. But both AI don't know that the others exist, so you have to take down the barriers so that they can send out signals to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And when you finally do it, the Americans, all right, you can go now, thanks. And then it's like, wait a minute. And they just hear, shing, shong, ching.
Dude, it could be interesting if, like, if you can get some information from the two bases that could be helpful to you. Like, as a perk, but, like, also, like Old World Blues. Like, you learned a lot about Cazadors. Now you're good against Cazadors. And, like, that...
I think it would be great if you got a perk just from being on the moon called low gravity, and just increased your agility and while you're on the moon. And then when you leave, it says memories of the moon, and you still get like a +1 to agility because you remember all the sweet stuff you used to do on the moon.
Get like moon boots or something, like some kind of gear you
get like a special
lets you, jump a little bit.
I'd say, like, you get a special spacesuit, maybe.
I mean, jumping really high as, like, an item, I think they probably could figure out the functionality for that in Fallout 3. I mean, it's Oblivion's engine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part of Oblivion, is being able to jump at variable heights.
And if you don't want to do that, you could just give them a unique spacesuit, maybe a power armor that's space-themed, and maybe a laser that's space-themed.
Yeah, we did it, boys.
We did it. We saved the...
We saved the reputation.
Last cool thing, they could make it so that after you blow up the alien spaceship as part of it, it blows up and all of this wonderful alien fuel cells scatter across the capital wasteland, and that you could actually find the shit.
Oh, I was thinking you crashed it on the moon. That's why you're stuck on the moon in the first place.
Oh, I'm thinking like maybe, I don't know. I was just trying to come up with a way that you could affect the rest of your Fallout experience. Giving you some replenishable ammo for like the rarest and most fun item in the game.
Well, maybe when the bases blow up, you can see like the destroyed remains of the spaceship you're on, just like zoom by you at a faster speed towards.
Something small like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But make it like a tiny one. You know what I mean? You don't want like the big one to...
No. Or you could do it that when you were crashing, like the alien auto, like you can see like escape pods leaving, and so.
Yeah, or instead of having cells like scattered around, you could just be like, oh, this one hunk of the alien spaceship ends up crashing next to your house in Metaton, and now it dispenses cells every now and then.
All right. Well, it's rather that, or there's alien escape pods that are scattered around that you can find, and maybe they're alive. Maybe some have them like corpses in there, but you can loot.
That'd be perfect. Like if you see like Mammoth said in the beginning when the actual spaceship is like blowing up, as your escape pod lands towards the moon, all the like you see like maybe 8 escape pods land. Well, maybe not 8. We'll kick it down to like 6. Land like inside the Capital Wasteland, and maybe one of them lands like near the Outcast kinda, and you could maybe talk with it. We need to add more shit to the Outcast. To be 100% honest.
Alright, okay. Alright, the Outcast, alright. Easy fix, alright.
Yeah.
Have them have a quest where they try to steal Arthur.
Give them any quest.
They try to kill Arthur?
No, they try to steal Arthur.
Oh, okay, that makes way more sense.
They think he's like being like cultist brainwashed by the quote unquote Brotherhood of Steel, so they want to rescue him for the good of the West Coast Brotherhood.
Irony.
That's fucking perfect. I'd love that actually. But you'd have to. That does sound good. I would like to give them a couple more quests. You know what I mean? Because all they really have is.
What do you mean a couple more? You mean any? Do they have no quests except I think like collect laser rifles.
Well, I think once you collect enough like energy weapons for them, they do something for you.
Yeah, they give you like the guy repairs your weapons. I think at like a discount
gift
or
card
something.
to Costco or something.
Yeah, he gives you a gift card to Brotherhood Costco.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what if? All right, this is just spitballing. There was a quest line about there's a protection member of the Outcasts, a senior member that the others don't trust anymore, but he's respected enough that they keep him around, and you can take him around as a companion. And it's basically after an event on one of his patrols, he's changed. He's gone crazy. It's a sort of Don Quixote thing where he believes he's wearing the armor. He sees that he has a weapon. He thinks he's a knight. And so you go on, and he like gives you things to do that are quote unquote veiled, and like like we must slay the file dragon. And when you get there, it's a Deathclaw terrorizing an area around a cache or something. And maybe it leads up to something important, like maybe there is a weapon that raiders are about to get that's like a automatic Gauss rifle or some pre-war weapon that no one should get their hands on, and you doing quests with him that are disguised as like a fantasy thing. You get it. You stop the raiders from getting it. So you incorporate their mission, but you also have some fun with it. I always like I know Fallout is primarily supposed to be serious with some dark humor, but I enjoy the zany stuff that's inherent in post-apocalypse. Although I will say I do have a problem with Fallout 3 where it doesn't feel like it's been 200 years since the Great War. It feels like it's been like 20.
Yeah, because of the fences and all that.
Well, a lot of the things. It just
people are still raiding a grocery mart in like 200 years.
Well, the idea is that the above ground was only habitable for like since like 50 years ago, and the vaults only opened since like 40 years ago.
I thought they opened the vaults opened like 20 years after the explosions.
If it's a normal vault, it opens after 20 years. Nuclear radiation, unless it hits a meltdown area, like a Chernobyl type area.
Oh, was it only 20?
In this universe, just enough.
I thought it was more. I thought like the default was more.
In real life, probably not. Yeah, but in Fallout universe, it's only 20. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I thought it was like 100 years. I thought it was like multiple generations.
No, that's why it's weird
it's
how
Fallout.
far.
No, because Fallout 2 talks about it.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Actually, you're right. It would make sense for it to be 20 years because I think the people that went into the vaults went in under the impression that they would come back out.
Also, despite, if it's a Chernobyl incident, the radiation stays there forever. But if it's like a weaponized attack, radiation doesn't stay that long.
I don't know enough about it.
I'm just taking
it up. Yeah, there you go. Do some, this is for review. Oh, time to take my meds. 1 second. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Fun fact about Mammoth, did you guys know he's actually a nuclear physicist?
I believe it.
Now, when they said they were looking for a nuclear physicist, I said I had a physical degree in theorist. I don't understand.
All right. Well, I'll give you another try at that.
Nah, don't worry about me, Chief.
And they're like,
But anything else you want me to try to fix?
Okay, so this will actually be a fun group one. Man, should I save this for another?
No, it's the holiday special. We can say that's why it's a bit longer.
Okay, it's fine. So this will be a really good topic, and we're each going to talk about how we could fix it. This one is the Institute, and I have a couple things I think you could do, but we'll start off with Mel. Mel, got any ideas on how to fix the Institute?
Fix the Institute.
Yes,
So, what do you mean by fix? Because honestly, they behave in a way that I think logically makes sense.
Okay, yeah, that's actually.
They believe that because they're untouched. They believe that because they're scientists. They believe that they do know the best way to basically run humanity. They choose to do it subversively, which they think is like a superior way to go about it. I think it makes sense how they behave, honestly. Most of my problems with Fallout 4's story do not involve the Institute's motivations, actually.
Okay, well, yeah, you know what? That was a very good point. Let me go and list the actual issues with them, and then we can talk about how to fix them.
Sure.
Issue number 1 with the Institute is they don't actually really... Like, you don't really know what their intentions are. And as, like, good of a thing that is to say sometimes in, like, some scenarios, it's terrible here. Like, they say, mankind redefined, but excuse my French, what the fuck does that actually mean? Like, they said they're the best hope for humanity, but, like, they don't do anything to actually help humanity. The whole nuclear thing was just to, like, make it so they could be self-sustaining. They make supermutants, that's another one of my points. I'm mad that they don't go in depth with that, like, whatsoever, and do anything with it. I don't know. In general, at the Institute, it just feels like they're underdeveloped. I don't think it's, like, logical and story for them to, like, say, we are the best hope for humanity. Okay, what do you plan on doing? 1 second. I have to contact the writer. He hasn't told me yet. Like, they never say what they plan on doing at all. Think about it.
They do have a lot of, like, scientific innovation. Like, you know, they've started recreating extinct species, like the gorillas.
But they're for all intents and purposes, you know, you can say if I just call them animatronics. They're animatronic gorillas. I feel. Do you have anything more to say about them, Melanie?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I'm sure eventually, like, they're like, you know, they're sci-fi smart. If they want to make something, you know, it's like the think tank. They'll eventually just make it.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, like, you're saying, what is their plan? Like, they literally plan to replace all, like, leaders with synths, and then have basically synths in all positions of power, and then at that point, you know, aside from them being the boogeyman, the idea is they would basically de-escalate all other conflict so that they could always be in charge. You know, it's very Orwellian. But
I thought the reason was because the entire Institute quest is you developing a generator so that they don't have to rely on the above ground anymore. And the entire reason you go after Brotherhood, because as long as the Brotherhood is around, they're going to try to kill the Institute. Same thing with the Railroad. So I thought their entire plan was to just secede from the surface. They stay down there, and they just use the above ground to just throw whatever test they want on there. They want mankind redefined is for them. Above ground is just, even Father says there's nothing worth saving up here. So their plan is to stay down there, do whatever they want, and use the above ground as like a test subject on itself, like a petri dish.
I mean, that is kind of what I got from it, but Mel, I love what you said. Like, if what you said was actually, like, spoken by any NPC inside the Institute, if they...
I think Dr. Lee says that that's what she wants them to do, at least after she joins the Brotherhood. But I think you might be right. I think you did remind me. I'm pretty sure Father did have a conversation where he's like, you
teleport to the top of the CIG. And he's like, this place sucks. And he says, you can make it better. And he says, I don't want to make it better. I don't want to cure cancer. I want to turn people into dinosaurs.
Never mind.
Which is what I want to bring up. And I feel like I have a problem with all the factions. I was actually, when you were talking about Minutemen Radio, I thought about some of the problems that Minutemen have with the Institute. They're supposed to be scientists that don't care about the consequences. I feel like they should lean more into the idea of them being scientists who don't care about the consequences, who believe science isn't about why, it's about why not.
So Old World Blues.
Not
No,
necessarily.
Old World Blues is the effects of that afterwards, where everyone's gone. The only ones left have been lobotomized and are just stewing in their heads. What I'm thinking is the Institute. There is no crisis for them to solve. It is just them pushing the limits of what science can do. So instead of just, they rely on sense the whole thing, which I get it, it's the big thing. The Institute can make sense, but why don't? They are the descendants of the scientists, of the students and the faculty of the Commonwealth Institute of Technology. Have them rely more on other bits of technology. Have it not just be sins. Have it be other forms of mechanical.
Yeah, that's the lack of content. That's Bethesda's creative team suffering from a lack of imagination. You're right.
And we see them go into biochemistry, so why not? So why not just have them experiment with other things? So our slogan is mankind redefined. So instead of Sims being treated as just workers, have Sims be like the next planned stage for humanity, or maybe using FEV to make the next stage of humanity, or maybe tell it to cyborg. Tell more about the cyborg thing.
That's the thing.
Maybe make the whole Institute thing where it's a bunch of scientists of different cliques trying to fight the other as they push for their idea of what mankind redefined is. Have someone become cyborgs, FEV, Sims. Push that. Push science to its limit, and then go beyond that.
All right, Mammoth, I think that you're forgetting about the immense repertoire, the huge amount of Institute side quests that you could be going on to explore everything the Institute has to offer.
Oh yeah. Where can we go? We can go to the slave catching place. Find out they catch slaves. We could go to the gorilla room where we find out they grow plants that make gorillas. We can go to. Oh no, maintenance doesn't even get a room. Let's see here. What else? We could go see Lee.
Oh, there's the reactor. Oh wait, nope, that's the main quest.
I mean, it's people that's been down there forever. Sure, the main area looks nice.
No, but we're making the point that there's a lot of shit that they could have done that I don't know. You guys said the other day, the other discussions, talking about meta stuff, and I know, but I just feel like it's not like they made the wrong choices a lot of these times. It feels like they just didn't make a choice. They didn't fill it up with enough stuff. They didn't fill in the blanks. They didn't fill it in with wrong blanks. There's just no information.
There's just no motive. That's my issue with them.
You have to headcanon everything.
And if anything, we've learned you can do stuff like this in a shorter amount of time. And I'm not even referring to New Vegas. Far Harbor, I like that DLC. You get everything you want from the from the Children of Adam, from the people of Far Harbor. You know what their shtick is. They feel like they're their thing. But with the Institute,
it's empty.
Oh,
I feel like maybe the Children of Adam in Far Harbor, I feel like they could have had a little bit more, but the other two were very well fleshed out.
Yeah.
I think.
I'll say your things, son.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Anyway, well, the thing is I agree with you, Mel. The possibility, of what they could do for the surface is easily the best out of any of the factions for what they could do. My only issue with them is it's not we're helping humanity, but it's in our own way. Which means they will be helped, but it's just translation for we're gonna do a lot of awful shit, but we think it needs to end.
No, you're right. I misremembered it. I apparently headcanoned it differently.
You made it better. Your mind could not process that this is what they were, so you made it better.
Bullshit.
Unironically.
But that's what I'm saying. If you just need to give them something, because each one of them genuinely says, "We're doing this. Humanity's gonna be great." Yada 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 yada. But they don't say how they're going to do any of that. They don't say why they're the best hope. They just say we're the most technologically advanced. But it's how are you going to use that, implement it, do anything with it? There's no depth here. You're just saying words. I mean, at least the brother, well,
No.
second.
Actually, I was about to jump off of what you just said. We've been crapping on the Institute. Dude, this same exact problem exists in all of the other factions. Literally all 4 of them. The best faction. The best faction.
Yeah, well, let's talk about the Brotherhood, because I got something about the Brotherhood.
I want to say one last thing. I just want to say, like, the Brotherhood and the Railroad barely have some semblance of side questing, and even that is like less than what the fucking Powder Gangers got in New Vegas.
The who now?
The Powder Gangers in New Vegas had more side questing than the Railroad or the Minutemen from Fallout 4.
Oh yeah, especially if you don't do cops battle and you go to the correctional facility ahead of time, you can do the requests without having any reputation.
Yeah, and then there's the Vault 11 quest, and then if you could sort of count the Prim quest because it's like half Powder Gangers, half not.
It's a separate group. That's why they're called convicts. But I think it's just there so you don't piss off the other Powder Gangers.
Basically.
Yeah, but yeah, they all got problems, which is disappointing. But yeah, the Brotherhood, I have a very big problem with them.
Really?
The Brotherhood, yeah. So
I think they're the best faction, development-wise, in Fallout 4.
Well, yeah, because they have the personality of the West Coast Brotherhood, but it's the evolution of the East Coast Brotherhood. So what I'm saying is, so they got all the trust and the goodwill, from being the, Lions Brotherhood. But now it's under the dogma and the, aloofness of the West Coast Brotherhood. So basically, it has given the rise to, I'm trying to think of a very safe word. I should say this for YouTube. Authoritarianism.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say they're goose-stepping towards a brighter future. They just want some living space. They just want to cleanse the planet of the inferiors. They're the no-no Germans. They've become the no-no Germans.
Yeah, that's essentially what they do. It's fascism.
Yes, and I can understand it. The West Coast, and it's just that Arthur my brain's fizzling because it's Fallout 4.
Oh,
so
can you answer the fan, by the way, or no?
No.
I had to
Cue fan noises. Alright. He was raised by Elder Lion, and then he was trained by Sarah Lyons. And then, quote-unquote, Sarah Lyons fell in battle. And according to Dance's dialogue, the Citadel fell. And according to logs, I don't know, Arthur Maxon united the West Coast and East Coast Brotherhood.
Did he?
Yeah, it's in one of the terminals. He united the two. They're united again.
Huh.
Yeah, so he's the High Elder. He's the High Elder of the West Coast and the East Coast Brotherhood. Which is...
that's interesting because in Fallout 3, the Outcasts did not even have contact with the with the West Coast.
Wait, was it the West Coast or just the Outcasts? I thought it was just the Outcasts that came back to the fold.
Oh no, first Arthur reunited the Brotherhood with the Outcasts, and then they got in contact with the West Coast. So he is the High Elder of the West and the East.
Young as shit.
Yeah,
you know what's really weird?
It's
Before
20.
like. How is it that the Enclave supposedly controls like the Midwest, but there's also like Brotherhood on both sides of the coast? Did they just kind of like walk through them?
Well, there's also the Midwest Brotherhood, but I like to think that the Enclave in Chicago is just the Chicago. Well, everyone else was going for the oil rig to Raven Rock. This is the high command. Maybe they pushed all the troublemakers, like the reformers and the moderates, and they pushed them off to Chicago. So now you've got the Midwestern Brotherhood, which is basically made up of just people that want to survive, and the Chicago Enclave that just they don't want to do this anymore, and they're technically the last Enclave standing. And they just they don't hate each other, but it's sort of like the neighbor that keeps taking your weed whacker and will return it.
So kind of like a Flanders situation, except they're both Homer.
Yeah. And I sort of like the idea where they don't like each other, but they work together, mostly because they don't like their neighbors, and maybe because it's Chicago, maybe there's a crime syndicate. Another thing about Fallout 4, the Triggermen, I'm so disappointed.
Oh yeah, how they're basically non-existent as like an entity beyond that one quest.
quest.
And they're interesting.
Technically two. Technically three. Technically three. There's the one where you get Nick Valentine. There's the one where you're cleaning out those houses for Whitehall Charlie.
Yeah, but what are they?
Yeah.
They're just statics.
Yeah, they're just gangster. And the second one, and the third one is, if you do the drug deal and it goes south, and you just confess it to the guy's dad, and you don't apologize, he just keeps sending triggerman assassins after you.
Well, that's the problem with them. Like, they don't feel like... take the cons, for example, right? You know who they are. You know what they're about, yada yada. But with the triggermen, all they are is just an aesthetic. Nothing more, nothing less.
Same thing with the gunners.
Yeah.
Gunners are supposed to be mercenaries, but they're treated like raiders. The triggermen are supposed to be, they're gangsters, but you see them for one major mission and that's it.
It's just...
But anyway, back to the Brotherhood. Arthur does all this great stuff and he's like 20. So he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders. His adopted father and the person he had a crush on who trained him, they're both dead. The chosen one, I don't know. He escaped to the one place that hasn't been corrupted by capitalism. Space. Or, not the chosen one, the Lone Wanderer.
The Lone Wanderer, yeah. He went to space.
I don't know, maybe the chosen one went. No. Well, I mean, for all we know, the chosen one's still alive.
What time?
It's possible.
What time?
It'd probably be
It's like 10 years. It's only a 10-year gap.
No, that's Lone Wanderer's still alive, but I'm also saying the chosen one is probably still in still at their tribe, just chilling.
No, it's Snowbird.
Probably. But yeah, so Lone Wanderer's probably, I don't know, cruising around. Maybe they got back into Vault 101, who knows? I just feel like it's such a hard turn in 10 years to go from
A to B.
From A to B. Like, maybe Arthur maybe there should be more in the Brotherhood to want to go back to what Lion stood for. Maybe the people that served under Lions that want to go back.
Well, I still
But
think
instead-
that... Sorry, go ahead.
It's just that the Brotherhood just seems to be believe in one nation, one people, one leader. It's
Mhm.
just
Your Brotherhood or your nothing. Is that a New Vegas tagline, or is that a Fallout 4 one?
that sounds like a Fallout 4 one. With the Vegas, it's your Brotherhood or get off my land.
And also, you're nothing.
I'm just nerd for nothing. I'm just imagining now McNamara just sitting on a porch in front of the bunker and in like a rocking chair with a shotgun.
Yeah. Or he turns around, you're like, McNamara, you okay? You called me in here, and he just turns around with a Nerf gun. Nerf for nothing career. Shoots around.
I mean, I can hear him say that since the voice actor for Elder McNamara is the same voice actor for Teenage Ben 10.
Oh, yeah, you told me that. I forgot about that. Fun fact. Fun fact all day. Also, it's around 1 hour. We're going to go ahead and...
We're going to close it off. Alright, any closing remarks we should all make?
Yeah. I'll go first. I don't have one. Mel, your turn.
No, dude. I feel like this is a fun episode.
Yeah.
I got nothing else to add. This was fun. This is great. I want to see everyone next week again. It'll be great.
No, it's bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly. Oh, okay.
This shit's hard, okay?
It is hard.
Well,
Well, I'm seeing you next week at least.
Yeah. No, we do this.
We're going out for
weekly.
dinner. They're a wonderful couple.
Yeah. We always
All
do
right.
Dutch, except I don't pay.
And so does that mean I do the final closing my closing remarks? Tune in next time when I'm not letting this go because we only talked about two out of the 4 factions. Next week, next time I am going to complain about the Minutemen and the Railroad.
Railroad is getting dicked down this Sunday.
Next week, I defend the Minutemen as the best faction in Fallout 4.
No, I defend that.
That is not a high bar.
You're
Oh
right.
shit! Fuck, I didn't mean to say that one out loud. Anyway, that's all, folks. Thanks for watching Kringetopia. Bye.